Hi everyone, my name is Sumit. I'm a digital chess coach. In this video, I'm going to tell you how to exchange pieces favorably. We have seen the relative value of chess pieces, and based on those values, we'll understand how to exchange pieces favorably on when you're playing your opponent. So, as I said in the last video, if you exchange your queen for opponent's rook or bishop or knight or a pawn, it's not a favorable exchange. You will lose material. So without losing material, you have to exchange pieces. For example, if you are exchanging a bishop for a bishop or a bishop for a knight, it's an equal exchange. If you are exchanging queen for a queen or a rook for a rook, it's an equal exchange. But if you are giving up your rook for a knight, it is an exchange down position, and your opponent will win an exchange. And if you are giving up your knight or a bishop for a pawn, then you lose a piece. So you're down in material, and eventually the side which has got more material or superior material can convert the advantage into everything. We'll see that in this video about the exchange of pieces, and stay tuned and watch until the end.
In this lecture, we'll see the exchange of pieces, how the pieces are exchanged, and the how you can successfully exchange pieces without losing material. So that is very important because you have to understand, I told you about the relative value of pieces, so you have to keep that in mind before you decide to exchange pieces. So let us look at the PDF document. So for a beginner, it is absolutely necessary to keep in mind the correct assessment of the relative value of the chessman. This will help to decide whether or not it is a good exchange or capture of a chessman. So we have discussed multiple times about the relative value of the chessman. Queen is 9 points or 9 pawns, rook is 5 points or 5 pawns, bishop is 3 points or 3 pawns, and knight is 3 points or 3 pawns, and the pawn is valued as 1 point. So if you exchange your queen for your opponent's queen, or a rook for opponent's rook, bishop for a bishop or a knight, knight for a bishop or a knight, or pawn for pawn, it is just an exchange. You are not losing anything. But if you win your opponent's queen by just giving away your bishop and a pawn, you have gained considerable advantage, as bishop and pawn put together are equal to 4 pawns or 4 points, whereas queen is worth 9 points. So if you exchange your knight or bishop for your opponent's rook, you are said to have won an exchange, or you are an exchange up, because the rook is worth 5 points, and the knight or a bishop is worth only 3 points. So if you exchange it and you win the opponent's rook for your knight, then you are an exchange up position. Whereas your opponent loses his rook against your knight, bishop is to have used and said to have lost the exchange or an exchange down. So capture and recapture should be made by keeping the relative value of chessmen in mind, and make sure that not to lose material while making the exchange of chessmen. So if you can see this figure, this diagram, white has got 2 rooks and knight and a queen attacking this pawn. So the 2 rooks are combining together and attacking this pawn, and knight is attacking, and also queen is attacking. So 4 pieces are attacking this pawn, and only these queen, knight, and rook are defending this pawn. So material is even on both sides. It is white to play, and the white is attacking the black's pawn on d5 square 4 times with his queen and 2 rooks, and with the 2 rooks, knight, and a queen. So it is defended 3 times by black's queen, rook, and knight. So the d5 pawn is destined to fall. But how will you start the exchange? That is a very important question. Starting the exchange, you have to start by exchanging with the least valued piece. For example, if you start by giving up your queen, then you will lose your queen, because then the queen, if you play queen takes a pawn, then you will lose that queen, because either rook or knight will capture your queen, and you will end up in a losing position. You will lose your queen. But And also, if you capture with your rook, again you'll lose material because black can recapture with the knight and you will be an exchange down. Rook into d5 would also lose an exchange for rook for knight. So therefore, to win the material, white must start the series of exchange on d5 with his knight first, followed by his rook, and finally the queen. So the correct move is knight into d5. Black would replay knight into d5, rook into d5, rook into d5, queen into d5, queen into d5, rook into d5, thereby winning a pawn. The resulting position after the exchange is shown below. So this is the resulting position. White is a pawn up in this position. So I'll just put the position on board. So black's pawn is here, white has a knight here, two rooks are here, queen is there, and that is one pawn. You have to keep two pawns here, 1, 2, 3. Queen is here, knight, and a rook, and a king. So yes, the position is almost the same. Yes, there's one rook missing. So position is this. So you have to start by knight takes d5. Black would respond knight takes d5, rook takes d5, rook takes d5, queen takes d5, queen takes d5, and rook takes d5. But if you start with your queen, then I'll show you how you will lose your queen. So if you play queen into d5, it can be recaptured by the knight, and you will lose the knight. So if again capture, you are just you have only two rooks, and black has got a queen more for your rook, so he's in a advantageous position. So again, if you capture with the rook, also the same thing will happen. Knight takes you don't have to recapture it. So here you can see that black has got two rooks and white has a rook and a knight, and he's in a exchange down situation. Also, always as a rule of thumb, you have to start with the least valued piece. Count the number of chessmen attacking that square. So this is a basic rule of determining whether the material could be won by a series of exchange on a particular square. Count the number of chessmen attacking that square. Count the number of chessmen defending that square. If the number of chessmen attacking the square in question is more than the number of chessmen defending the square by 1 unit, then the material would be won on that particular square. This is the rule of thumb. So understand it thoroughly and go through this game that I have given as an example, and you will understand the concept well.